All right, friends, how are you today? Aaron here bringing your daily horoscope for Monday, the 20th of April, 2020. We've got the moon moving into Aries, just as the sun's moving out of Aries into Taurus. So the moon and the sun are going to create briefly, the top part of the day, a semi-sextile. Okay, semi-sextile is an easy flow of energy of two different elements, two different signs, right? So we have the sun, ego self, saying what in Taurus? My kingdom, my things, right? Terrible twos, mine, my things, my stuff, my finances, my money, my bank account, my possessions, my belongings, right? My finances. We're going to be looking a lot at our personal finances over the next month. And what's interesting is today, on Monday, the exact square Sun square Saturn is today, okay? Now we see Sun square Saturn happen twice a year. So it's going to happen here in Taurus. Let me show you the chart. It's going to happen here in Taurus, and then it's going to happen in another 6 months, either over here in Libra or the very early stages of Scorpio. I don't remember exactly where Saturn's going to be, right around here either way. So this happens twice a year. All right. Sun is our ego self, the representation of our personality, right? Our flair, our pizzazz, our style, how we walk, how we talk, how we're viewing life through our lens. Okay. Now Saturn is the authority. Saturn is the authority. Saturn is the law, the order. You know, we're moving through with new technology, new vaccines, new all of this stuff going on, right? We can see Mars playing a role in that as well, actively seeking new technology, the savior of mankind. This nice trine that's going to happen this year, specifically extended amount of trine that's going to happen this year between the masculine Mars and the feminine Venus. What you want, love, desire, Venus in Gemini. Gemini is about all of the things, both sides of the coin, life, death, happiness, unhappiness, the smooth shores, the white rapids, etc. Kind of like what we talked about yesterday. Even paradise, to be paradise, it has to rain, it has to snowfall, or whatever it may be. Venus is telling us to try to fall in love with all of these aspects of life, with the famine and the famish, the drought, as well as the abundance, right? Jupiter in Capricorn, lack of abundance, right? And we have this Jupiter creating this triseptile down here to the north node, which is saying, like, look, this is okay. This is a part of life that every single generation has gone through something like what we're going through right now. And although we want to say where we are at in time and in technology and in space, this shouldn't happen to civilization. We should be more advanced, technologically advanced, to allow things like this to not happen. We should have been prepared, And Jupiter's just like, look, man, this is the way. This is nature. This is life. Fall in love with it. Come to a peace with it. Don't hate, don't blame, be compassionate. All right, anyway, just kind of walking around here. So the big thing today is this Saturn square the sun, okay? It's exact today. We're going to feel it tomorrow, the first couple of days of this week, all right? As the sun does represent our ego, and in Taurus, it's what's ours. And Saturn represents the law and the authority, in this particular case, outside of self, right? This isn't Sun conjunct Saturn, where it's like, this is my authority, this is my power, this is my, this is from an outside. And this is determining on how you use what's yours. Some people can't go boating right now. They got a boat, they can't go boating. Like, what? How is the authority telling me that I can't use the things that I've paid money for, or I have a cabin up north, I can't go up north? And there's this authority setting in, saying, hey, stay in your space, stay in your lane, which is an oddly uncomfortable feeling for a lot of people, right? So we have this authority over us on telling us what we can and what we cannot do. Furthermore, this doubles back is Saturn is still squaring Uranus as well. Okay. As you see, 1 degree. They're only, 5 degrees apart here. So this is going to happen a good chunk of this year. Saturn will retrograde back into Capricorn. Uranus is going to push forward into Taurus. Then in December, Saturn comes back into Capricorn. And really, in 2020, we're really going to feel the square of Saturn and Uranus wholeheartedly. Okay? And we're going to touch on that right now, which this is depression. Okay? This is Saturn squeezes a coal into a diamond. Remember that. All right. Saturn squeezes a coal into diamond with an insane amount of pressure. Now, that coal's job is partially to become that diamond. The human being's job cannot withstand that kind of pressure. We put pressure on ourselves that we need to be some diamond, that we need to be the diamond in the rough, that we need to be seen. Right? Look at all these things that I'm doing. Look at how I'm trying to give back to the world. Look how I'm trying to make something of my life during this time. Look how I'm continuously going to work, though 90% of people are laid off at this time. We want to be seen. We want, especially with Sun breakthrough Uranus here, this conjunction on one hand is just like self wants to break through, self wants to be recognized, self wants to express, self wants to be free, self wants to not be confined by boundaries, self wants to go play, self wants to, again, we're going to go back with being recognized, It's like if you're, the Mariah Carey or whomever, I'm just thinking of some random vocalist, you have this wonderful skill. And what is it if you're just in your home, in your own bedroom, singing by yourself? It's like we want to use that skill. We want to put it out there. And then that skill becomes, seen by somebody else. And they say, oh, wow, Mariah, you have an incredible singing voice. And I just so happen to be a music producer. And I would like to work with you on some, this is how this world works, right? We see something in somebody else. We see the beauty or the potential they have to offer. We look at our skill set and say, well, this is what I do. This is what I offer. Can I merge with this other person and collectively bring something great, right? Well, we're having a very hard time doing that right now. We're having a hard time seeing the other person. We're having a hard time being seen by the other person. The other person is very concerned with themselves being seen right now, right? So if they're so focused on being seen and they're focused on being seen and they're focused on being seen and how am I getting attention? How am I getting the recognition that I so deserve? We stop recognizing other people. We stop recognizing the ability, the gifts, the beauty of the other people because we're become so overwhelmed and concerned with ourselves, right? So we need to flip that table, especially when we're feeling like this. And if we're feeling down, if we're feeling depressed, remember there's always somebody else out there that's feeling more depressed, more down, more alone than we are in any given moment. So that's when we reach out and say hello to somebody, right? We don't want, it's an unbearable amount of pressure. All right, we're never going to be this perfect diamond. There is no such thing as a perfect cloud, right? There's no such thing as an imperfect cloud. They're just clouds, as we are just people. And we all have an ability, we all have a certain skill set or whatever, but, being the perfected master or whatnot, it's such a hard thing to live up to for oneself. That not saying do not. This isn't saying don't become. Don't want to perfect your craft by any means. Of course, still staying persistent at something, but the pressure that we put on ourselves to be that perfect thing, we'll never live up to our own goods, or our own standards rather, right? So we're going to be feeling a lot of this energy now as well. We have Mars creating. There's always like a relief, okay? So the Mars septile to Chiron, Mars septile to the moon, emotional need, right? We have an emotional need for healing today. And of course, still squaring the nodes. This is only going to happen once more next month, okay, around the 20th as well. 18th, maybe 18th of May, we're going to have the moon square the nodes, and then they're going to jump out into Gemini and Sagittarius. Okay, so the nodes are going to move the end of next month, I do believe, or the beginning of June. So this is one of the last times that we're going to have this. You know, Chiron's going to be a little bit more forward ahead next month, so this won't quite be the same. So this is still a beautiful time for healing, a beautiful time for clearing, and saying, look, I am me. I am me. I have all the emotion, all the passion, all the drive. I can heal whatever wound needs to be healed in self. I can let go of whatever I need to let go of that's holding me back. I can move forward with care. You know, the biggest thing with this squaring of the nodes, it's this. It's when we come into power, because the south node in Capricorn is authority, is power, and it's the south node, so it's reversed. It's letting go of a certain sense of power, right? If I want to let people into my life, into my heart, I have to let go of this kind of wall. You know, I have to put my guard down in a certain sense and open my arms, right? So when we have been the one walled off, this is an old African proverb. The child who is shunned by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. Okay, now the moon and Chiron squaring the nodes. This is the turn of power coming back. Okay, so if you are the one that's been shunned and want to feel the village's warmth, okay, we take this time when we go into our healing to do better than that, to not be abusive with our power, to not be abusive with our authority, but to maintain a level of peace, calmness. Can't see, my hand is right here at my heart. You know, peace, calmness, serenity, care, nurturing abilities. You know, hey, it takes the stronger person to recognize you did this out of your own insecurity. You bullied me because of your own insecurity. You walked away from me or whatever of this situation or this relationship because of this, and this. And I understand. I'm not going to turn my back on you. I'm not going to hate you. I'm not going to shun you. I'm not going to burn the village down, right? I can flip this. I can move into a place of compassion, a place of heart-centered care and empathy, and be able to come back without wearing the grudge like a crown, without wearing anger, and now that I have this power and I can use it this way because I am healed and I can use this, and it's just like we want to be really aware of this energy and how this is affecting us. This month and next month is it. That's it. And then the nodes shift, and then we're going to have something very different for the next, year and a half. So this is really, really good energy to remind ourselves to, when we heal, when we come back into power, when we get our own, when we get the ground under our feet, to not be that of which we despised in the other sense of power or authority that was over us. Now that we're the boss, now that we're in charge, how do we choose to handle employees? Now that we're the adult, now that we're the parent, how do we choose to handle the child? Now that we are in this successful relationship and something on Paradise Island here, there was a storm, how do we choose to pick up the coconuts off the beach and clean it up and prepare it for the next wave of guests? How are we choosing to handle our relationships? With putting self first. I must take care of me. This is the moon. Emotional need, me. I have to take care of myself first and foremost. I have to make sure that my mind, my heart, and we got Mercury up there as well, in Aries. My mind and my heart are focused on me in a healthy way so that I can properly give back to you in the other ways. That I can do so free. I can do so with care. I can do so fully. I can fully help out because I'm fully me, right? I'm not a half of me. You get it. All right. I've been chatting enough here today. My friends, thank you as always for hanging out with me. Have a beautiful Monday. Square Saturn, Sun square Saturn energy, money issues. It's all going to be coming up this week. All right. Stay high, my friends. Appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow.